Day 2, everybody. E3. Rick and Price here. More E3 updates.
That's right.
So, what happened today, Rick? What did we do today? First things first. What did we do?
First thing, well, we showed up, we woke up, got showered, went to E3, and we split off. We went our separate ways. You went and did some VR stuff.
Basically, long story short, we were trying to get appointments for VR stuff. I was able to get an appointment. Rick was unable to get one. And so what we decided to do, let's, make the best of a bad situation. Rick went and got in line to go and see Civilization, which we'll talk about in a second. And I got an appointment to go and see a VR game, 100-Foot Robot Golf. So let me just briefly talk about that really quickly. 100-Foot Robot Golf, it's a game that we've all been looking forward to on the channel for a while. You play as a giant 100-foot robot. You're playing golf through a city, but it's not really like a golf game as much as it's just like a silly robot game. So the version that I was actually getting to play, it's a VR game, so I got my headset on, everything, looking around, all that. And it was a race. And so you just hit your ball towards the hole. You try and get into the hole as fast as you can. You can run and smack your opponent with your club. You can break down buildings. You got like super shots that you can charge to it. So it's just tons and tons of fun, like silly game. Very 80s inspired. Like the art style looks very much kind of like Macross or any of the early 80s anime types. Shows that you can think
because
of.
you're not actually the robot, you're piloting.
Yeah, you're a pilot inside of it. It's like a mech, and so like that's kind of what it is. The art style is very stylish. I would say it's kind of not quite Katamari levels, but it is that sort of like very stylized,
kind of
simplified, cell shady look. Very cool. It was on the PlayStation VR thing, and I will say just briefly, the PlayStation VR headset, I really like the design of it compared to the Oculus and the HTC Vive, which I've tried at PAX in a couple other ways. I feel like it has a really very sleek design and it fits and works really well. They obviously worked really well on the design for it. It's very user-friendly. So I had a lot of fun playing that game. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a fun one. Personally, I think it's unnecessary VR. I feel like a lot of the stuff that you do with the camera, like when you're looking around everything, it's cute, it's nichey, it's interesting, and VR is a big thing. At the same time, you could do it with the right stick.
Are we going to be able to play that 4-player?
Probably not. Unless we get 4 VR headsets. It does at least have, I think, 2-player mode to it. I don't know
is it strictly VR?
I think it's strictly VR.
Oh!
Yeah, and so that's the downside. But hopefully, I mean, like, personally, I'd say they should release a non-VR version of it. It'll get way more play than having the VR version, and it will, kind of open it up to people like us who, we're not going to buy 4 VR headsets, but we would obviously love to play it with the number of golf games we play on this channel.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, so, Civ, tell us about Civ!
Civ, there was no hands-on demos for Civ. They haven't come that far yet, but what they did show was an in-depth presentation, basically an abridged version of an entire playthrough. It was a playthrough as China, so you got to see establishing the civilization, competing with other civilizations, and advancing into the modern era. A lot of really cool changes. For those of you guys who aren't familiar with Civ, this might sound a little bit foreign, but for those of you who are, wonders. There's no more wonder hoarding, which is pretty cool. I mean, I'm guilty of wonder hoarding. When I can, I will build whatever wonder I can, if it's beneficial to me. In the old games, your wonders would just be built randomly within your capital. Now you have to build them within tiles in your civilization, which limits the amount of wonders you can build. I mean, honestly, you could probably build all the wonders that you want, but that means that you can't actually work other tiles, which would produce food or production or anything else. So you're really limited, which is cool. That's cool.
That's a cool mechanic. Like when you were talking about that, I thought like that's a cool mechanic. It like restricts what things are you going to build because you're basically eliminating a farm tile or a mining tile or a money-making tile or whatever it is. You're taking that away in order to get the benefit of the wonder. So you have to make some smart decisions.
It's a good balancing mechanic, and you really have to think more strategically when you are choosing to build wonders. Secondly, the tech tree. It didn't really go into the tech in detail, but what was interesting was that every time a new thing would be built or discovered, it would add to your technological technology. For example, when a quarry was built, it said, bing, guess what? You just increased your knowledge in construction. And when a harbor was built, it was like, oh, you just increased your knowledge in sailing. So the tech isn't necessarily based on how much science you're producing or how many turns you've had, but based on what you were actually doing within your civilization to advance that tech. Super cool.
Yeah.
Lastly, the policies. No longer is it like Civ 5 where you had the different policy tracks, but you have 4 policies. I can't remember what they all were. I believe it's economic, military. There was one other, and then there's a wild card policy. And so you have different policies that you fill out for each one of those. So like economic, I don't know. There's a lot of different
social
options.
or maybe political or something like that. Yeah.
But rather than going like tradition or liberty or honor or something like that, it's a lot more varied. There's a lot of different ways you could play and mix and match your policies, which is very cool. Basically, it just means that as replayable as Civ 5 has been for me, and I put in well over 1,000 hours, this looks even more replayable because you can play as your favorite Civ, but there are so many different ways to play as that Civ now. All in all, I think it looks great. There's been criticisms about it being too cartoony. I think that's ridiculous. It looks fantastic. It looks
beautiful. I saw a little bit of it. Like I saw the trailer and I saw, Quill18's playthrough on his channel. The game looks beautiful. Anyone who thinks it looks too cartoony, I gotta say, like, you're forgetting you're playing Civ here. Like the game has always been a little bit stylized.
Yeah.
Okay, so after I finished 100-foot robot golf, Rick and I are on separate sides of the convention center. I'm making my way back to him, and I happened to run into a cosplayer of the character from Dead by Daylight, the Trapper. So I took a couple pictures of him, Instagrammed it, talked to the person there, and so I got to interact with the devs, and so they have a build of Dead by Daylight up there right now. We didn't get to play it today, but we did get to kind of sit in and watch a little bit of it from the sideline. So they have the other 2 killers playable, or 3 killers.
I believe it was 3.
And so that was really cool to see. And it was so cool. There was this booth, and they had like people playing and everything like that. So people go and play Survivor, some plays Killer, and you have people like cheering when the killer gets somebody. It was really, really cool to see. And so just with us playing Dead by Daylight recently and having that on the channel, and then getting to see that all stuff there, that was really, really cool. So I really enjoyed running into them and doing that. And then Rick and I went over to IndieCade, and we were able to check out a whole bunch of the random indie games that were over there. And so what really jumped out at you, Rick? What do you think was like one of the cooler ones that you saw?
There was one that we didn't get to play, but it's a 4-player rhythm-based game.
Yeah.
That looks really cool.
Yeah.
Basically, there was like this crazy boss fight, and the boss moves with the rhythm of the music, and it's got some really good soundtracks as well. And then you have to sort of like also move, obviously, with the rhythm of the music to dodge the boss and fight back. So not quite like Necrodancer, it wasn't tile-based, kind of roguelike like that. But very innovative still.
I would say it almost was like a shmup. It's called Just Shapes and Beats.
Yeah.
And it really was very much, you are just shapes. One of you's a circle, one of you's a square, one of you's a triangle, right? And you're trying to avoid whatever this boss is doing to you. It's in the rhythm of the beat, and every time you get hit, you lose a little bit of your shape, and then eventually you might die. And then if you do, you have a little short window where someone can come over and try and revive you. And it's all about trying to survive to the end of the song, and as the song goes on, it gets harder and harder and harder. Definitely something that we want to check out with the rest of the game once it comes out. So that's definitely on our radar. Another 4-player one that you and I got to actually play.
What's it called?
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and try and pronounce it. Si-Hei Yuan. All right. Probably wrong, all right?
Hey guys, there's a 4 in there. There's a 4.
There's a 4 in the place of an A, but the word is Si-Hei Yuan, I think. It's a Chinese word, so I probably said it wrong. But anyway, long and short of it is this really cool puzzle game that where each of you controls like a quadrant, and you'll get little blocks on your quadrant, and then you can try and move them either into your spaces or to other people's spaces. There's different colors you're trying to match, and so basically you have to be working with the other 3 people that you're playing with in order to be like, oh, I need a black square over here, or I need a red square over here, or, oh, I need to clear these ones out. But if you do it the wrong way, if you're not communicating well, like, no, I don't want that one, I don't want that one, and then you're blocking up your own stuff.
And it's all about timing. There's so much timing.
All about timing.
It's one of those games where at the beginning you're like, oh, this is easy. And then 4 stages in, you're like, oh my God, this is so hard.
And so that, again, definitely one that we'll be playing on the channel once that one's out. At least a couple laughs. There will be some laughs as I'm like yelling at Ash, give me a yellow one!
Frustrated.
Give me a yellow one! So that game was a ton of fun. And then we both checked out this game called Zombies Shall Not Pass.
Oh, yes.
It's like a motion-enabled thing. And literally the whole game is about, it's motion-enabled, it's got this little device in it, and like you put your hands out like this to move forward, you close your hands up to move backward, then, you turn this way, you turn this way.
You do this to attack.
And you do this to attack people. I mean, it was really, really fun. Like
very, very innovative.
Yeah.
And it used this little motion sensor.
Yeah.
Like it was honestly like that big.
Yeah.
And you just put your hands over it. It's like a little Connect your computer.
And it was plugged into the PC, little tiny device, super innovative game, super interesting, and just like such a a cute art style and everything.
Basically, you're a zombie, and you start out with like 10 zombies, and then as you kill survivors, they become zombies, and so your zombie army gets bigger and bigger and bigger until you've got like 60 zombies versus like 20 humans, and you just gotta kill them all.
Okay, so after that we had a couple of appointments with a couple different companies to check out their stuff. First, we went and checked out Astro Gaming's new headset, the A50 line, and I'm not gonna lie, it was a really comfortable, nice sounding headset.
Yeah, it was. I mean, these are like more like streaming headsets, and since we are doing more streaming, it was pretty enticing. I really don't know how good it would be for recording, but for gameplay, man, they were comfortable. They were.
I mean, like, because one of the things that we complain about a lot with our headsets is that like they hurt on your ears after a long time keeping on there, because we had to, we're playing games for hours and hours and hours. So that's something that really comes in for us. So these were the most comfortable headsets I've ever felt.
Also, for Jasmine, I know that she complains a lot because it presses on her glasses. Her glasses press into her skull, basically. By the end of the day, she's got a headache. These are made with that in mind. So people who wear glasses, there's
like a little slot. Yeah, there's like a little slot that the glasses can fit in. So that's pretty cool. I will say they're pretty expensive. They're somewhere in like the $300 or $400 range. It's a pretty expensive headset.
But they're wireless.
They're wireless. They have a really cool I mean, like they're like, if you have the money to spend on them, they're worth that. I would say if you don't sweat it. There are other options out there for you. But like for what they are as a luxury headset, really cool. I was really impressed with that, and I kind of want to get one. Like maybe around Christmas.
Yeah, I don't got $300 to throw around now, but if I did, I'd pick it up.
Yeah. And then after that, we got to check out something that I was really excited for. We got to check out Sniper Elite 4.
Yeah.
Really, really quick. We went in, we were able to sit down and play it for, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
We each got to play, so that was fun. And I played Sniper Elite 3. I really enjoyed that game. And Rick had never played a sniper game before. And
I mean, I played sniper games,
but not Sniper Elite. But what did you think?
No, it was tons of fun. I was really surprised at how open world it is. What I thought Sniper Elite was just basically like a Hitman meets a sniper game where you just like have a mission, you kill somebody, move on to the next mission. It's not that at all. I mean, it's super open world. Sure, you have objectives, but you're just dropped into this town that's Nazi occupied in Italy, and you can go about the objective any way you want to. You can kill 50 people, kill them all, kill nobody, just sneak in and never fire your sniper rifle. It was a blast, and there's so much involved to it. Like, in this level, there's a giant cannon. So you'll time your shot for the cannon. Like, when the cannon goes off, fire your shot, it's not detected.
Right.
But if you fire it off and, it's not in sync with the cannon, then obviously the guard's going to be alerted. The AI is really smart in this game.
And it's really cool that they focus on, like, they wanted to make it the most realistic sniper game ever. So it's like you have to be in cover so that you're not visible. You have to make sure, like Rick said, to mask your shots with other sounds. Otherwise, people are going to hear your rifle fire. They're going to try and, zone in on your location. And then we kind of spent the last part of today wandering around the Microsoft area, just trying to check out a couple of games there, looking over people's shoulders while they were playing some games. And we actually were able to get down and play some of Cuphead, which is a game that, the art style is amazing.
Art style's amazing, and it's just as hard as we heard about.
Oh my god, it's so hard.
So hard.
We played the same level like 5 or 6 times, and we got so close to the end, but we never won. If we have some time tomorrow and like we got nothing else going on, it's likely we'll have stuff going on because there's so much stuff to see here. But if we don't, I want to go back to it. I want to beat that level Cuphead. I'm looking forward to Cuphead because one thing that we both noticed was that while it's super difficult, it's difficult in that you need to learn the patterns. But once you learn the patterns, you get better. Because like we were getting progressively better as we were playing it. And so like for me, when it comes to games like Isaac or other things like that, or Gungeon or Necrodance or any of those all work that same way. Where it's like difficulty means skill. The more you work at it, the better you will get. And I feel like Cuphead feels like that kind of game. So I'm really looking forward.
We'll get pretty good at it.
We'll get good.
Speaking of playing it tomorrow, tomorrow's the last day.
Tomorrow's the last day. A lot of stuff we didn't get to do today. You're probably like, guys, what about Resident Evil 7? We didn't get to play Resident Evil 7.
No, we're really hoping that we will, but that is a hot commodity. And I'll tell you guys that we got there early today. We were like one of the first groups in there, and we were like, oh, we'll get to it for sure. But it turns out they let these turkeys in before the doors are even officially open, like these special people. And honestly, there's probably only like 300 people per day who are actually able to play that game.
With the thousands of people that are at E3.
So we probably won't get to play it at E3. We're going to try like hell But no matter what, I mean, we plan on playing the demo
Yeah.
when we get back home, so you guys will see it.
It's one of those things where like we want to play because we want to play the VR version, but
Yeah.
if we don't get to, we'll play the demo and we'll give you your impressions of it over the next, week or two or maybe a month whenever we are able to get a chance at it. So don't worry, we'll tell you how we feel.
But we will play some other games tomorrow. We're really hoping to get our hands on Sea of Thieves. We'll have some more stuff for you guys.
Yeah.
Then, in the meantime, anything else you want to say?
Final update, no Sheer. We did not see Paul Sheer, so hashtag Sheer Watch still on.
Yep.
Every bald head we saw, we were like, is that him? No Sheer, no Sheer.
yet.
So we'll let you know tomorrow. Hashtag Sheer Watch. What's
It
the
continues.
update?
It continues.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, I've been Rick.
I have been Bryce.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.